With me, actually, I'm just going to record this because Kyle wanted me to take a look at this as well. So just kind of let me help set the context. This is kind of a feedback session as well as some sort of a debriefing interview. I was looking at your history. You joined our course a few months back, and sometime in August, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah. I actually wrote to you after writing my first GMAT exam, and you suggested that I go through the verbal course in e-GMAT. And after that, I think in around September, I bought the course. End of August or September beginning is when I bought the course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you improved from, if I understand correctly, you improved from a verbal score of 19 to a verbal score of 37.
Yeah, 19 to 37.
Okay. And what did you end up scoring? I still don't know your end score.
I had a last GMAT that I wrote. I scored 680.
680. So what was your quant score?
My quant score was 47.
Q47. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So congratulations. So what did you overall improve from? What was the score in your first attempt, and versus what was there in the second attempt?
First attempt, my quants was actually 48, but my verbal was 19. And so my score was somewhere around 580 or 560, which was quite disappointing because in mocks I was getting a decent score of 670 on an average. So yeah, the problem with my first time was I could do verbal okay, but then I was not very confident with my SC. It was like sometimes it would be right and sometimes it won't be, and I will not know the reason why I had marked, because when I would read a question and I'll go through the answer options given, it would be like a gut feeling telling me this is the right answer. But sometimes I was not sure why. And that confusion that I had with my SC was completely removed after I took the e-GMAT course of SC. Like small things that make the difference, that small things that we note and which can easily tell us where and what the mistake is what I was not knowing before I did the e-GMAT course.
Okay. Yeah. So how did you study for sentence correction in your first attempt?
First attempt for my sentence correction, actually, I went through a lot of books, like the Manhattan sentence correction books, and went by the rules for each and every topic, like modifiers has certain rules and idioms had certain rules. So that's what I did. I studied through that, and I went through questions of the OG. Through OG questions and through Manhattan prep questions is what I actually went through. But then the set of rules that they had given, I had to go through them every week so that I didn't forget them. And I found the approach that GMAT has is much more practical. It's much more practice oriented, so that it just gets embedded with you and you don't have to mug up anything, is how I felt made a difference here.
I think even when Payal and I were preparing for the GMAT, we found the rules to be very difficult to follow.
Yeah.
This is too many, and you've got to revise them, and then really say. And when it comes to that minute and a half, you say, I know these 50 rules. Which ones to apply, not to apply.
Yeah.
How to go about sequencing the application of rules, by the way.
Yeah. So that was a problem in a very small amount of time to apply all the rules, and how to analyze and apply the rules was a very difficult thing initially.
Okay. So you started using books in the first attempt. You didn't do well. You scored a 19 percentile. So V19 is a 19 percentile on the GMAT. So what made you buy the e-GMAT course out of all the other options that were available to you?
Actually, e-GMAT, I had an account even before I took my first attempt, but I had not bought any module. I was just going through the free webinars that e-GMAT provided, and I had attended few webinars that Payal took on RC and CR. Though I had not attended. Yeah. So few free webinars I had attended, and I attended the RC webinar that I attended was very helpful. I found it really helpful, and after that I tried following few of the tips that she had given for RC, which I found to help me a lot. I mean, it was like I had read through the rules and I have gone through practices, but this made more sense and this made more difference. So, but then I still had not bought the course because I wasn't sure if I needed it. But when I wrote the GMAT and I got my score, means when I was writing GMAT and through the entire verbal section, when I attended it, it was like I think this could be the answer, but I'm not very sure. Is how I felt throughout the section. But then, so after the verbal, I decided that maybe since I really liked the free webinars and the way it was taught in e-GMAT, so I could give it a try. I went through a lot of testimonials and I saw very good feedback on SC and the entire verbal section. So that's when I decided to write you personally and take a suggestion and go ahead with it.
Okay, so then you bought the course late August, early September,
yeah.
And you started going through the course. When did you take your exam? Which would
I took it in December.
In December, okay.
Yeah.
It's just I looked at it. There was no record of our conversation with you. That's why I'm asking. Otherwise, usually I know all of these details.
Okay.
So, how was the experience from August till December? I mean, did you? When you went through the course, how did you feel? What were you learning and everything?
In September, it was a little slow because I had some other official things to attend. So I was not able to go through it regularly, though I planned. So it was, I think, in October mid is when I started like properly going through every day, making a routine. So I felt that the SC to go through all the videos and the material provided, it took me like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, for the videos, and sometimes I went through the videos twice just to get the grasp of what was being said, and then the practice questions along with each videos were really helpful. After each topic, the practice questions that's given, and so once I completed SC in 3 weeks, I started taking the Scholarium thing.
Scholarium.
Yeah, so
we should make the name easier to pronounce, right?
And yeah, so I critical reasoning and RC I took along. I studied, and at the same time I was doing the questions.
Why was that? Why was that? Why did you study CR and RC differently from sentence correction?
I felt that I was a little more confident in CR and RC, but SC was where I was missing out. SC was where I need to improve a lot because I was seeing a lot of fluctuation. Like some days I would get all my 10 questions correct, and someday I would have like 6 wrong out of 10. So I didn't have a stability when it came to SC. So I thought of going through each and every topic from the basics in SC so that I don't miss out anything. And CR and RC, since I had a little better graphs than SC, so I thought since just to accommodate it in that much of time, I decided to go study along with the questions. So
you practice from Scholarium along with.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to ask 2 questions, and we're going to go back to your sentence correction side. So you said you kind of in October you created a study schedule and you were much more regular.
Yeah.
Right. So can you tell me a bit more about the study schedule? What was it? How many hours? When did you study? And what? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. See, I have an office timing, so I leave morning 8 and I'll be back only by 7:30 to 8. So yeah. So after that, I used to make sure that at least every day I put in 2.5 hours on a weekday. In the minimum is what I had planned. And weekends, I used to spend like 5 to 6 hours. in which weekend I used to try doing quants also, but weekdays mostly initially in the month of October, I concentrated only on verbal. So weekdays 2.5 hours is what I used to put, and out of which I had made a schedule of having SC every day and alternating between RC and critical reasoning. And RC I used to alternate days. I used to take it up, and SC I used to make sure I do it every day for at least 1 hour to
For it,
one and a
I
half
was
hours.
going to ask you that. How long was the study session? Okay. So tell me this, Sudheshna. So, I mean, 2.5 hours every day during a working day, right? So,
Yeah.
are you married?
No, I'm not married.
No personal commitments, no boyfriend as such.
No,
Do
no,
you
no,
live
no,
with,
nothing.
do you live with a roommate, or do you live on your own?
No, I live with my friends, roommates.
You have roommates. So how did
Yeah.
you manage, realizing, sorry, I'm not going to spend time with you guys. I've got to study. How was that?
Yeah, there was a little peer pressure around, but then
Was
I think
anyone else studying for the GMAT or studying for anything else around you?
no, there were people who were studying. I mean, yeah, they were studying from others' exams, but I had roommates who were pretty understanding. So when they knew that I am planning on writing an exam, and the first exam didn't go well, and I was trying to revive my scores and everything, they were quite cooperative, and it was never a problem with my roommates. So yeah, I could lock my room and study, and
Did
then
you have a conversation with them saying, sorry, girls, I won't be able to do the regular chit chat. We won't be able to go out for movies as we usually do because I have to do.
yeah, so during weekends, weekdays actually everybody used to work late, and so everybody were pretty fine. We used to have dinner together, and maybe then I used to lock myself and study for some time, and then go to sleep. So weekdays were pretty okay, but then weekends, yeah, sometimes I had to cut down, and I have to say no to few stuffs which I earlier used to do. But then yeah, but then it was like I had to get something. So
Yeah, but this was
uh,
all implicit. You didn't have to explicitly tell them, "Hey, I can't do this, and I won't be able to do this for the next 2 months or something." There was no such conversation that happened.
no, not exactly. They knew that when I used to say no, they used to ask me maybe another time or something, and I used to say no. I have to write a mock exam, or I need some time. So they used to understand, and then it was fine.
And that's a very important thing, by the way, that
Yeah,
such good friends who understand this.
yeah. That was a good thing. That was never a problem. Yeah.
I hope you took them out on a good treat or something once you were.
Yeah, sure. Like right now, a little busy with the applications and essays and everything. So,
Okay.
yeah,
So let's go
maybe
back. So
once.
you studied CR and RC after you did SC. So 2 to 3 weeks for SC, 2 to 3 weeks for CR and RC. You were practicing, and then you were using Scholarinium as well. So
Yeah.
overall, we've talked about 6 weeks of prep time from beginning of October. We're going till middle of November right now, right?
Yeah.
So and you did practice from Scholarinium as well. So what insights were you getting as you did all of this work?
Uh, when I started taking from Scholarinium, so that time it was I found that I had not put in. I mean, I didn't have to put in an extra effort. I was going through everything that was there in SC videos and study material, and I found automatically my approach had changed
Okay.
for the questions. Like the way I used to approach the questions initially and before starting e-GMAT, and the way I was taking the questions after going through the SC section was very different. I mean, the way I looked into questions, the way I could spot the error had changed.
So
And
things started jumping out to you basically.
yeah. So it was like I could see a lot of difference. And I, like earlier when I used to see a question, I might have like, okay, these three answers look correct. But then I didn't know which one of them. The big difference I could spot even before, but then the small ones which made a lot of difference, I mean, which if you know will take you just a few seconds to spot the correct answer, was what I was not getting initially. And then after going through the section, it was like when I see the options, I could just spot that this is, and I was confident why is this the correct answer, and that helped a lot. My confidence was build up, and I found sometimes that when I took 15 questions, I was getting all 15 right, and that, yeah, so that boosted up a lot, and even encouraged me to take more questions and take more verbal tests. So yeah, the entire way in which I used to approach a SC question changed after I went through the course.
So basically studying became more fun in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's talk about, so you said one more thing which I want to understand. You said there were certain files that you went through 2 or 3 times in sentence correction.
Yeah, so some files.
What were those, if you
I think I went through a few files like in modifiers, like ing modifiers and ed modifiers. Yeah, so because they are something that is very very predominantly asked questions, and when once you understand that, it becomes very easy to spot. But then
how did you make a decision that you had to go through these files again? I mean, what was kind of the telling thing to you to really say, I need to go through them again to get a complete grasp of these?
Yeah, so like every time I used to go through one video, after finishing the video, I used to take 2 minutes to analyze what I have learned and to think and to get what I got from this video. So sometimes after going through the video, if I felt that my understanding wasn't very clear and I need to revise it to make my understanding very clear, is when I used to go through the video twice. Very few of them I actually went through twice, and I exactly don't remember which one of them, but there were a few topics which were a little complex than the other ones, and I thought that if I go through twice, maybe my understanding will become very concrete, and that's when I used to go through a video twice.
I think so. What I love about this is the attitude that you had to say, I've got to learn this. It's not that I've allocated 2 weeks, I've got to finish it in 2 weeks, but I have to learn this and learn this well, and that's the way to success. Focus on this.
Yeah, so timing was a factor, but then I didn't let that be the only thing that matter, because I knew that if I just go with the timing thing and I don't get a grasp of a topic properly, then that might at the end of the day not give me the result that I'm looking for. Instead of 2 weeks, if I can allot 3 weeks and just get a proper grasp of the topic and then go by with it, maybe the results will be much more fruitful, is what I thought, because I didn't want this time to miss out on anything.
Okay.
So
let me ask another question. Did you build a study plan when you started preparing?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I will be very honest, I was not able to stick on with it as I had planned.
Spend time to build a plan.
Sorry?
You did spend the time to kind of create a plan.
Yeah, I did create a plan which I was used to follow like for 2 weeks, and then on the third week it used to go haywire because I will have some other work or something. So I used to plan, but I started making short-term plans, like for next 2 days, what are the topics that I plan on finishing. Instead of making a long plan that in this month I need to finish the entire course, I started making it like a small term plan, like this weekend I need to solve these many questions and I need to go through. And I used to give myself a lot of time, like if I'm doing parallelism, I used to give myself time more than I thought I would need, just in case I had some doubt or I need to go through something again, or to analyze the questions that I have solved, which needed to.
Let me cross question you on this one. So did you do the same thing with let's say, assumptions and critical reasoning, to really say, you said, I need to solve 20 questions, hypothetical situation, and you say, okay, 20 questions should take me, 40 minutes? And so did you give yourself excess time even in critical reasoning, in assumptions?
No, I didn't give myself extra time on solving questions. I gave my time in extra times for understanding when I was going through the topic.
Very good.
Like suppose if I was taking 20 questions of SC or CR or RC for that matter. So e-GMAT in the Scholaranium, they will give me the approximate time that would be needed to solve that much questions. And I used to try to give myself that much time, or sometimes 1 or 2 minutes less, just to push myself so that the timing is not a factor when I write the actual GMAT. But I used to give myself quite a lot of time that this topic, suppose I want to finish, I would give myself, if I need a half an hour, I'll give myself 45 minutes just to analyze few things and just to make an error log, which I used to make after solving questions. And when I used to analyze the errors that I used to make, I used to note it down so that weekends I used to just go through and see the small errors that I used to make so that I don't repeat it again, and that also helped a lot.
So how
to
often
maintain.
did you revise this error log?
I used to make error logs like every alternate days, every time I used to solve any questions, and every new error that I used to make. So I used to maintain an error log, and I used to, I think, revise it every weekend or every 4-5 days. I used to just go through. It was just a small points, bullet points. So I used to just go through them, and
so by the end of your preparation, how big was this error log?
I think I had like some 30 to 35 bullet points of error logs.
Can you show it to me? I mean, can you share your screen if it's still there on your computer?
It's not. I had actually written it down, so I can maybe share a screenshot or something, or a pic of it after.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, sure. I can do that.
What's important really is, it's these little things, the fact that you took extra time, the fact that you revised certain concepts, the fact that you gave yourself extra time, the fact that you revised certain concepts because you felt that you weren't as confident in them as you were in other concepts. The fact that you made this error log and took this, it may seem like 5% of your time, 5% of the time that you put in studying while doing this, but it's very, very important to do that. That is what makes a huge difference in the end.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So now let's talk a bit about Scholaranium. We wanted to do this meeting to kind of get some feedback on Scholaranium. So did you? So first of all, Scholaranium, how were the questions? How was the experience?
The questions are really good, really at par with GMAT. I found the questions, the complexity of the questions, really at par with GMAT, and the preparation, like the kind of questions I was solving in GMAT and when I wrote the actual GMAT, I didn't find much of a difference. It was like I was solving questions similar to e-GMAT. Okay. So the questions are really good, really complex, and it has a lot of variety and cover a lot of topics. So really good question bank it has.
And did you look at the analytics and other things?
Sorry?
The skill data side where we show you your percentage correction.
Yeah. So I used to take separate sections for a very few time, and then I used to take a mixture. Like I used to customize and take like a quiz. So and then I used to see my report, and then I used to go for the attempts, and sometimes go through the attempts and see what all mistakes, and I used to take a re-attempt sometimes of the entire set. So yeah, the way the Scholaranium is made, it's very user friendly, and it really gives you a real time where you stand. Like it really shows you which topic where you need to improve, and how your questions are going, if it is hard, if it is medium, the kind of errors you make. One hard, when you miss out on a questions of 700 to 800 level or 600 to 700 level, how much difference it makes then if you miss out a question on a 500 to 600 level. All these small things give you an insight like how you need to go about to improve your score, which was really helpful. The way the questions were marked hard or easy or medium, all these things, they were really helpful. And
okay, that's good. And did you also go through the solutions overall? So when you made a mistake?
Yeah, I used to go to the solutions, and I found the descriptions given for each options, or sometimes the video solutions that were given were really helpful and really elaborated the entire thing, and pointed out really well what the mistake was. And in fact, I found in few answer choices, they in fact pointed out why we might think this could be the answer and make a mistake. Like generally, as a student taking, why we might think this could be the answer, even though it is not. And they showed the way we might be thinking and the way we should actually think to get the correct answer. And that, I think, in many questions where I made mistake, the description made a lot of difference. I was for next time I was able to think very differently because of the
That's very good to hear. I have another question, and I think you may have to think a bit back to give an answer. So, you have the ability quiz and you have the custom quiz, and you talked a bit about the custom quiz feature. So, did you take ability quizzes? I think the first question, yes, no? Did you take any?
I took ability quiz.
How many times did you do?
I think I took it as many times for SC, when it actually started showing me that I can now only take custom quiz. So SC, because I was more on to SC to get it right. So initially I was taking a lot of SC ability quiz, and so it after a certain point of time, that small bucket thing appeared on the side, and it showed me that I can take only custom quiz. CR and all also. I had taken a few ability quiz, CR and RC. In fact, I took one verbal ability also. And SC was the one that I took the most ability quiz from. And after SC was fully done, where I can take only the custom quiz, after that I started taking even CR and RC in custom. Once I started,
So the question is, in your preparation, you took both custom and ability quizzes. So which one did you prefer, ability or custom, number one? And number two, if you could elaborate on the role that each one of them played in your preparation.
I think initially, since my focus was on SC for most of it, like I had a 50% focus on SC and 50% on CR and RC together. So initially when I did my SC, all the videos and everything, and when I wanted to see how I'm doing, I took SC ability quiz, and it was really helpful because I didn't want to distract myself with CR and RC that time. So that time the ability quiz helped me to know where I stand in SC. And generally I felt that if you just want to know where you stand in one particular topic, that time the ability quiz was really helpful. But then again, at the same time, while writing an actual test, our mind is gonna be skipping between an CR question and an RC question and SC. So it's very important that we have a hang of it, and it shouldn't be like when my mind is set for an SC and I'm getting 10 SC questions. It's different than when my mind is set for an SC and the next question is CR and then again SC and then again RC. So when this jump is happening, that also makes a difference. So once I took a few SC questions and I felt a little confident is when I started taking custom, where I used to customize. Maybe sometimes I used to put a few SC questions more. Like if I used to take 12 of SC, then 8 of CR and 2 passages. So that way I started customizing so that I don't lose a hang of the other 2 topic and just go around with SC. So, and while taking a custom quiz, it also helped my mind to jump between questions and still do well. So I think initially ability quiz helped me when I needed a little more confident in SC, and after that I switched to custom quiz because I wanted to practice in such a way that how in actual test it will be.
I love how you've modulated your preparation as per your needs. I mean, it's you've used the tool in a way it's supposed to be used, and you've used the flexibility that the tool provides. It's just it's amazing how you've gotten the hang of it.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you get a chance to look at Quant Scholarinium?
Yeah, I actually got a chance at the end. Actually, I did look at it. I didn't work on it much, to be
Okay.
honest. I just took a few topics here and there just to see. I mean, it was, I think, introduced very recently or something, or maybe
Yeah.
I saw it very late.
It was introduced on the 10th of December. So.
So I think after that I just did twice or thrice, I think, but I found the questions really good, like the top, and I found the approach that they have taken, like they give you individually, like algebra, number problems, and trigonometry, and mensuration. So every topic they give you a score, like when you take a custom quiz also of equal questions of each, it will tell you that your systems is strong or your trigonometry is weak, which was a really helpful approach, because it, I think, though I didn't get a time, if I would have got a time, it would have helped me pinpoint which section of quants I need to work on more. And yeah, I think the Scholarium, though I didn't have much chance of utilizing it, but it's a good tool, and I think people can really benefit from it. The questions are really good.
Okay, thank you for that. So, Sudheshna, I think thank you. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before we talk about your applications?
No, I think I just want to thank you for helping me in verbal, because I think this jump from 19 to 37, I really owe it to e-GMAT.
Well, you owe it to your methodical approach as well. You owe it to you're modulating your preparation to your needs as well. So I think
Yeah,
give yourself a
thank,
pat on the back for that. Um,
yeah, thank you.
so where are you applying? What's next for you?
I have applied for ISB right now,
Very good.
and I plan on applying for a few colleges in Singapore. So I'm going through the application through the essays right now, and yeah. So right now I have, I think, 6 colleges in my mind totally. So yeah, so the essays are going right now. I'm working on the essays. So yeah, that's what is
All
going
the
on.
colleges in Southeast Asia, or I mean India or Southeast Asia.
Yeah, I am planning on doing it in Asia only. So
Okay.
yeah.
And so how are you doing your essays?
For ISB, actually, I did the essays on my own, and then I got it proofread by few alumni from ISB whom I contacted in LinkedIn.
Mhm.
I mailed them through LinkedIn, and I asked them for suggestions and if they have time to proofread my essays, and they were very forthcoming.
That's
They
good.
So they really pinpointed points where I missed out or how I should go about, and that really helped. So now for these other schools essays also, I'm trying to use the knowledge that I gained while doing my ISB essays, and then I plan on getting it proofread also. I have not taken any packages these institutions are giving
Mhm.
as of now, because I it is a little on the costlier side, like for college they are asking around 15 to 16 grants.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I have not
15 to
taken up
16,000 is a cheap package, by the way, per college.
per college.
It is cheap.
Okay. Okay.
A good admission consultant, even in India, would not cost less than 50,000 rupees per college.
Okay.
So
Okay, so right now I have not, but I have spoken to a few of them just for help in application procedure and interview process. So, but I have not finalized anything. So maybe tomorrow
here's how I would really think about it, right? A good admission consultant, someone who knows more than you know, right? And
yeah.
who has the experience is at least going to charge 2,000 rupees an hour. The bare.
Okay.
And a single school application is about 20 to 25 hours of effort.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You do the math, and yeah.
Okay. So you suggest that it is better if I go through them because they will have a better knowledge of the ATCOM teams and
It's not about the knowledge of the outcome thing. So, I mean, frankly, I'll tell you one thing. Um, uh, so, a lot of people really think that, and a lot of people put this on their resume and really say, I've been a part of this admission committee, I've been a part of this admission committee, right? Um, in the end, doesn't mean that it helps just being a part. What it means is they know how they think about in terms of the recruitment process. Okay, but
okay.
ultimately, at the same time, no admission officer or no admission consultant is going to falsify anything. Anyone who's truthful, frankly. Okay. And so, I mean, what they do is they make your application well-rounded so that it is coherent. They make sure that the right points are highlighted. And because a typical application would get probably an hour to an hour and a half of consideration once it's submitted, right? So making sure that, for example, your letter of recommendations talk about the qualities. So your recommenders talk about the qualities that you said that are the reason why you should be admitted. Making sure that there is that coherence, making sure that your resume reads well. A lot of people have very technical resumes, and I mean, I have people who send me their resumes, and I'm like, what the hell is this? You're not going to be able to. It doesn't make sense to anyone but someone who works right next to you, by the way. And if someone who works right next to you doesn't need a resume because he knows you already. So So how do you make that resume read well, where it shows a progression in career? Now, all of these things need to tie together. Okay, and that's kind of where they can help, or someone who's working with you can help. Someone who has a decent knack of it. If you look at feedback on individual essays, I think the way you're approaching, you're going to get decent feedback, because anyone can look at one essay and really say this can be improved in these ways. But that's going to be very tactical. It's going to be like if you were solving a question on the GMAT and someone told you, hey, you can solve this particular question in this particular manner and probably save a bit of time, right? So that's very tactical, but it won't really build that unified approach. That's not something that you would get with just solving one question here, one question there, one question there. Someone who's looking at your entire application and someone who has that background will give you that holistic thing. So what I would recommend is work with one admission consultant at least for one school, because it's not enough that once you know this as to how do you make something holistic, then you'll be able to modulate it yourself.
Yeah, I think I have been thinking about it, because I felt that there are a lot of things I would like to say, a lot of stories that I might have which are really good, but then how to say it in 300 words or how to say it in a very concise manner.
That's thing that they would really tell you how to do that, and by the way, which ones are even relevant. But again, don't just go to any admission consultant. I would say go to the good ones.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Rajat. Thank you so much.
One more thing. So if you could, did you get it by the way, get your enhanced score report or your score report?
For GMAT?
Yes.
Yeah. I got my. I have not taken my enhanced score report yet. I mean, it is there. I haven't taken it.
So if you can take your, I'd be very curious to see what you did in your SCCR and RC in terms of percentiles. First time in sentence correction, I'd be very curious. I thought you would have taken. So if you could send that to us, and if you could, you're still writing applications right now, right?
Yeah.
When are your deadlines?
I have one of them on 31st of Jan. And the others are till March. I have time.
Okay, so I think after you're done with the one on 31st of March, I think you definitely should write your debrief. When the way you modulated your study plan, it's amazing.
Thank you.
Details that had you, I'm sure you probably didn't spend as much time on quant, because had you done the same thing with quant, you would have done wonders.
Yeah, I felt the same. I mean, in quants, where I lagged in the actual exam was I lost a lot of time on one question. I should have left the question and I should have gone. And once I just got so much into solving that questions that I lost so much time that while solving mocks, I used to always have this thing in my mind that this many questions should be done in this time. So when that thing changed or that thing was mismatched is when it just went wrong. I mean, I just got a little nervous that I have lost so much time, and then the questions that precede after that succeeded were a little like I was making silly mistakes of copying questions, or I was a little nervous, and things just went a little down from there.
That's
So
something that I would really just say for everyone, because others would be looking at this as well. Unless and until you are super duper confident in any topic, don't let ego come in your way.
yeah,
I mean, it's not about that question. It's about doing well on the GMAT. No one cares.
exactly.
No one will know about that question.
Exactly. I felt it was a blunder. I mean, I could have easily got another 2 questions right in quants, because at the end, when I had to just mark so that I don't miss out the last 4 or 5 questions, when I had to just blindly mark so that I don't get a penalty of not solving. So I was able to see the questions, though I was not able to solve it, and I just knew that if I had another 30 seconds, maybe, then I could have. So
I bet it would have been, the number would have been more than 2, just because I think you would have stayed, you've been on target throughout throughout the test in the quant section. Let us say, okay, I'm not behind time. You'd have solved other questions in a much more calm manner too.
yeah, exactly.
All right, I think there are always learnings, and I think this is again something which is going to be very valuable for others as well. If you do decide to write your debrief, which I think you should.
Okay, sure. Maybe once the application is
Yes, I think after
is
the
done.
31st, till the 31st,
Yeah.
you need to focus on your application after that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we would also, I'll follow up with you to get a review of the e-GMAT courses.
Sure.
So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Nice talking to you.
Very nice talking to you, Sudheshna. Thank you so much for being a part of e-GMAT, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rajat.